everyone, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your weekly report. It is Tuesday, September 21st, 2021, and it is the night before the fall equinox in the northern hemisphere and the spring equinox in the southern hemisphere. And we all just experienced a very emotional and releasing full moon in Pisces that occurred yesterday, September 20th, at 28 degrees and 14 minutes of the mutable water sign of Pisces. And that was a very, very emotional full moon. The moon met up with Neptune early in the day yesterday, and the full moon occurred just less than a minute off from the final degree of the zodiac. And the final degree, which is 29 degrees of Pisces, there are 12 signs and 30 degrees of the sign, 0 being the first and 29 being the final. So this is just less than a minute off from the final degree of the zodiac in the sign of endings, the sign of release, the sign very emotional, intuitive, psychic energy. And on Friday, Venus squared Saturn in the sky, and that can bring challenges, reality checks, etc. And now, as we move forward, tomorrow the equinox occurs at 3:21 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that's when the sun crosses the celestial equator. And in the northern hemisphere, it heads south, and in the southern hemisphere, it heads north. It's the beginning of the fall in the northern hemisphere and the spring in the southern. And on the day of the equinox, it's approximately equal day and equal night, and it's a time of reflection. And I cast a chart for the equinox, and the equinox chart has Capricorn ascendant at 14 degrees of Capricorn. Saturn is the ruler of the chart, and Saturn is the planet of karma, accountability, structures, limitations, and responsibility, among other things. And as you all know, we were dealing with the year of Capricorn last year. Now we're dealing with the new age of Aquarius, and Saturn is slowing down, and it will station direct next month on October 10th at 6 degrees of the fixed air sign of Aquarius. So we're dealing with the reflection of what Saturn in Aquarius has brought us thus far. In the equinox chart, the moon itself is at 21 degrees of the cardinal fire sign of Aries. And this sets off where Saturn and Pluto met up in the sky on January 12th of 2020. That was the conjunction that changed the world forever and brought down the structures in our lives, and we're all rebuilding, repairing, and in the age of Aquarius, reinventing and building and rebuilding community. But it's a reflective time of what we've all been dealing with. And in the equinox chart, Venus is in Scorpio. In its detriment, it's at the top of the chart in the house of career and life goals. And it is in opposition to Uranus. Uranus is the planet of chaos, brilliance, ingenuity, and individuality, among other things. And that means that, in a sense, we may be needing to break free from certain things that are not giving us our security, because Uranus in the house of home, family, and security, while when you have the planet of unpredictability there, it's not the most grounded. Venus in its detriment in Scorpio, facing wounds to heal, empowering yourself, being strong and impassioned about what you need to do. At the top of the chart, finding a way to find love and creativity and value as you struggle with the unpredictability. And with moon in Aries, that's an angry moon. That's a moon cardinal oriented. Cardinal signs make things happen. And this equinox chart has Capricorn rising, which is a cardinal sign of action and responsibility. And Aries fights. So the moon in Aries is going to fight, hopefully give us all the courage to go forward and get things done. And the moon in Aries is in the house of communication. So finding ways to build local community, because the third house is local community and communication, but in the age of Aquarius, infinite community and infinite connection. So this is a big deal, and all of the outer planets are retrograde right now. So that's a reflective tone, not an aberration, because every year they retrograde for several months a year. So it's a time where we each want to reassess the lessons of the planets. Mercury is going to retrograde later in the week. It's going to retrograde on September 26th at 10:10 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on September 27th at 1:10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And it's going to retrograde at 25 degrees of the cardinal air sign of Libra. And we already have been in the shadow. Mercury entered its shadow on the new moon on September 6th, when it got to 10 degrees of Libra, which is where it will station direct on October 18th. So paying attention to the stories in your own life that occur from the end of August, early September, how you can revise what you want to achieve, how you can get organized in Virgo season, be effective, get things done. Mars will trine Saturn on September 25th at 5:50 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that's a very helpful energy for being effective in your action. Mercury is retrograding in Libra. Libra is a sign ruled by Venus. Venus is what you value, what you love, how you can be creative. In the equinox chart, as I mentioned, Venus opposes Uranus within a degree. Letting go of things that are keeping you from what you love. In some cases, unfortunately, it may not be something you want to do. You may have to adjust. We are all reinventing ourselves, and in some cases it may release you or break you free in a sudden way so that you can achieve magic, and hopefully that is the trend. That's what we all want to go towards. And Venus will oppose Uranus on September 23rd, the day after the equinox, at 5:41 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And there could be breakups that day, but there could also be very exciting opportunities and meeting people unexpectedly. Could be unexpected financial endeavors. And this retrograde, being that it's in the sign of Libra, which is the sign of partnerships and relationships, among other things, pay attention to all of the people that are coming back into your life. The ghosts from your past, good or bad, the dreams, the messages. Maybe you hear from somebody, you make attempt to see people. This is a time of reconnection, particularly with Mercury retrograding in the sign of relationships. We are in the age of Aquarius, which is friends and community, and we are in retrograde season. All of the outer planets are retrograde. What do you value? What do you love? And lastly, Mercury is retrograding, where Venus retrograde, the Venus retrograde story from fall of 2018. Venus initially retrograded at 10 degrees of Scorpio on October 5th, and it's stationed direct at 25 degrees of the cardinal air sign of Libra. Thinking back to a few years ago, how can you revise that story to be creative, to have your heart's desire, and to give and have love in a very tough time? And you know, focusing on what you need to work on with Saturn as the ruler of the equinox chart. I wish you a lot of luck. This is going to be a time and a month of a lot of reflection. Revise, redo, rethink, reconsider, revisit, reorganize. Virgo season, excellent time to get organized, which I think I'm going to do right now. I wish you luck. Haven't been that accessible recently. I hope to be more so now. It's funny because my computer right now, the hinge is broken, and I almost was feeling unhinged for a while, so, you know, it's apropos. Many of you may feel unhinged, and during Mercury retrograde, I think everybody knows at this point, even if they don't know about astrology, computers can break down, technology can break down, we can, you know, return to things, but it can be, sometimes there can be challenges in communication, and things that transmit information or transport things can have challenges. So I will have to work on my computer and keep it like this, hopefully, while I do my batch videos, but I will not be unhinged. And I thank you very much. Take care.